Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Iconic with me, Danny Pellegrino. I'm so excited. I'm wearing my Loverboy shirt. We have Kyle and Amanda from Summer House here. Kyle and Amanda, how are you guys doing?
Better now. Ready? Friday.
It's like Irish crickets, they call it. You guys, I have so many questions for you. Now, I've said on the podcast before, I wasn't previously Team Kyle and Amanda, and this season I've turned and I'm firmly Team Kyle and Amanda with everything that's going on. What's it been like to watch this season play back? We'll start there.
I mean, look, this show is always about a group of friends. So in my humble opinion, it's kind of unfortunate. There are teams. I mean, I know this is Bravo. I know things get dramatic, but it's a little unfortunate that there's such a disparity or like a fracture, in the house.
Yeah, I feel like for me, for the most part, once I squash something in the house, like I squashed it, like in real life, like it's done. I want to move on. And it's interesting to see how sometimes, people are doubling down in their interviews and
tripling down in press
behind your back. So then it's kind of like, well, okay, maybe we didn't actually squash it. I thought we did.
And you guys must be referring to the Hannah of it all, right?
No.
but sometimes, like in general, like, there's been other times too where you watch something and you're like, wait, I thought we were good.
Yeah, I would say, think like, I don't know, Danny, like maybe season 2 where there's another little riff, and you think we're good. And then we got blindsided at that reunion. So yeah, I think it's just unfortunate. I'm not one to hold grudges, despite Hannah thinking I needed an apology because my ego is just overpowering. I'm like, no, I actually just want an apology so we can move on.
You didn't want an apology. You just wanted to
squash it,
to meet in the middle and move forward. It's not like you needed her to like say she's sorry. You just wanted to.
No, anytime there's a riff, anytime there's a riff in the house, right? It affects everybody, and that's not why I spent a summer out east.
Okay, but what the fuck was that apology at that table? Like, what was going on there? Because that was crazy. All of it was crazy. But Kyle, you were seemingly taking it very seriously too. So what was going through your head?
Annie, I had just gotten through that blowout fight where she yelled at me, to not talk about her family.
Well, you were
I was
very
expecting
upset.
Hold on, before that discussion where we had, those lawn chairs by the fireplace, like I was so anxious and stressed out because I'm like busy running my company during the day. And meanwhile, like I know I'm affecting Amanda's relationship with what I thought was one of her best friends. I know this beef between me and Hannah was affecting the overall summer for everybody. And she was so unpredictable that I never knew like what type of talking points has she prepared for this chat. And then
you walked away, and when you walked away from it, when it was done, I saw you in the bedroom and you were
in tears.
You were teary-eyed. Like he was really upset about it. So
it's like, where do we go from here? We're in a house, and she just told me after she had told Amanda that we're not friends.
So when she apologized to Kyle,
180,
he was like, oh, thank God. Like it was a relief for him. Like he was just like happy, like, oh, like, okay, we're able to move forward. Like this is amazing. And the rest of us weren't buying it. I was like,
yeah. You didn't buy it at all, Amanda, right?
My face the whole time. I was like, I'm sorry. We were just screaming outside. And within 5 minutes, you're going to walk upstairs and apologize to the whole house. Like this is
it's like
strange behavior.
What manager that she, has on her, payroll that deals with crises did she get a talking to?
Amanda saying no.
I'm like, stop.
It was such a 180. I was like, okay, I will take that apology.
Yeah.
And we will now move on.
It was just weird to do it to the whole, we were all just like, why are you saying sorry to us? Like, we don't care.
Amanda, do you often feel like you get in the middle of it? I mean, I just saw you're obviously still have a large affection for Hannah, who I don't know if you guys are friends now, but it must be difficult to sort of balance the two.
Well, I think I just, in general, take on other people's emotions. And I always try to put myself in other people's shoes where it's like, I also always try to speak like my truth and on my feelings. So when I, try to like get Kyle to like reel it in, it's because I feel like he's like crossing the line. Like, all right, let's just talk about how we feel and leave it at that.
What's your sign, Amanda? What are you?
I am on the cusp of Cancer Leo. I'm July 24th.
Interesting.
Yeah. Me, Kyle, Lindsay, and Hannah are all Leos.
Now, I think that there's something the audience might be missing from the Hannah-Kyle fight. I had talked about it on the show with Hannah, and she had mentioned there's like an OG territorial thing a little bit. And
it's so unfortunate that that's what she thinks. Sorry, go continue.
Tell me. I'm curious what you think it is. Why do you think the two of you are sort of at a head?
She thinks there's like these overarching like power struggles for the, who's the top alpha in the house on the show. It's like, no, I've watched her treat Amanda poorly. And I see Amanda put in way more than she does in the relationship. I've also seen her, no matter what she says, talk negatively about our relationship. When there's nothing else to talk about, she would take a low blow, my relationship. Sometimes it was well-deserved. Like, look, the season she came in, I was going through a crazy life-altering moment where I'm facing, the demons of my past, and it really had an effect on my relationship with Amanda. Like, that was real drama that Amanda and I went through on national television.
That we would have preferred it not to be.
Yeah, and when she comes in with this, what feels like a very fake, forced relationship with Luke, I'm like, you don't know what it's like to actually go through some real shit. And, no one's buying this, Hannah. Like,
the timeline of the whole Luke thing doesn't make sense to any of us watching. And I think we're finally sort of catching up in the season now. We're at the end where it seems like Luke and his confessional and other people are starting to notice the discrepancy in timeline a little bit too. So do you feel now, after watching the season play out, that there was a discrepancy in the Luke relationship timeline? Does that make sense?
I mean, look, I don't even know if it's a timeline.
Well,
I just think it was.
The whole thing is just confusing because I remember going into the summer. It was like one of our first weekends or first days there. And she's like FaceTiming some other guy that she was like talking to. And like Luke is saying hi to him and she's like, showing everyone. And then she's talking about how there's like another guy she was talking to. So it was very confusing that she was getting so upset and worked up about this Luke stuff when she was kind of like letting us know, like, oh, I'm talking, like, been talking to
we
guys.
As a cast knew, and as friends knew that she never went to Minnesota 2 falls ago and that it was over. And she was seeing people, Luke was seeing, like, we all knew it was over with. And as season 4 played out, it was like she was living in this like false reality where the viewers were kind of gunning for them. And they wanted them to be in a relationship. And meanwhile, it was long over with. And she was kind of breadcrumbing the whole experience.
On the other side of things, Luke was in Minnesota from March. So they hadn't seen each other. They like couldn't physically see each other. And I think maybe Hannah has admitted this, or maybe she never will, but there was a part of her that maybe thought when they got to the house together and like saw each other for the first time, maybe something would happen again. Like she was keeping busy with other guys. She was talking to other people, but a part of her thought like, okay, maybe once we're like reunited, things will start back up.
But she also, let's be honest, she loves the attention. So doesn't matter what's real.
You all
as long
do.
as she's.
I love Amanda right now. She's just.
I actually am very fine. I'm very
speaking
fine
of the
not being the center of attention. All I care about is having fun and everybody around me having fun.
Okay. Now, Kyle, this question's for you. The bathroom sex stuff. Now, I sit here and recap all of these shows. And to me, that was like gross and vile and just like it crossed a weird line to me. But what did you feel? We haven't seen your reaction to it. Are you just finding out about it as it airs, or did you know?
Well, why don't you? So basically, Amanda, we have a history where Amanda defends Hannah because I'm critical of how she treats her friends. And so when she found out, she purposely didn't tell me to avoid further conflict because I thought Hannah and I had patched the fence, or what do they say? Mend the fence?
You patched it.
So she kind of withheld it from me, and I didn't really find out until I was asked about it in like a green screen confessional. And I was like, so that someone had alluded to it, but I knew nothing until I was asked about it.
What was your reaction?
I mean, at this point, I don't put anything past Hannah, and she does, like I said, she loves attention. So it's like, that's not normal. Like you said,
I found it shocking. Like, and I somebody had written, and I asked questions for you guys, and somebody had said on her show, she had just mentioned it was like a 30-second, they didn't actually have sex in there. Do you know if they actually did?
Like 30 times.
No, they did say that it was more of like an oral situation.
Oh, so
which is fine. But like, Danny, here's the thing. I don't care like what really happened and what you want to like tell people in the hot tub, and now what you're, trying to course correct with people being completely grossed out. The fact is, she did it to spite us, because that's very clear. And this is just high school level petty crap. Like I just was like, how is this dude 44 and coming into this type of environment thinking that this is what you do?
And if it was like Perry and Paige, like if Perry came over to the house and Perry and Paige did whatever in the bathroom, and then she like came out and told me about it, I would know that it wasn't like malicious. It was like, she just wanted to like do something in this beautiful bathroom. Right. We don't have any I still would have been like, I mean, that's kind of gross, but like, go get them. But this was just,
it was withheld from us. And it was clearly like, oh, let's see how they react once it all comes out.
It felt very sinister to me. And I understand, actually, I know people are being critical, like her and Des are together all the time. And I get that, because she wanted to be with her new boyfriend. And I understand all of that stuff. But the way they were talking from that bathroom to me just felt very sinister. And it was like, it wasn't about like, let's go have some fun in there. It was like, let's go get them kind of thing.
Well, not only that, I mean, Des was like, after they were finished doing what they're doing, because quite frankly, what they actually did doesn't really matter to me. He then said, I'm going to go jerk off on his pillow.
I think what grossed me out is like, I doubt they like took some like Lysol or something to like clean up the counter. Like she's in a bathing suit. Her sweaty ass is sitting on top of where
your toothbrush
and where I put my morning coffee and where all my skincare is. Like, that's just like, no, like I was just living
disgusting.
in that.
It's absolutely disgusting. It's vile. Okay. And it was like,
no, Amanda, I felt the same. I love Hannah too. But I felt the same way. I thought it was like vile. Like to me, it was just like, oh, and also even all the sex noise and stuff, just kind of gross. I want to move on though. We talked about OG of the house, and to me, the OG of the house is Lindsay Hubbard. I'd run in front of a bus for that woman. I love her. I've never met her before, but I like her. What's going on? What did you make of the Steven of it all? Did you think they were meant to be together, or were you just kind of going along with it to be nice?
Lindsay
Amanda.
And I had, I'll give every relationship the benefit of the doubt when it's first starting off. This is like our first time really seeing them together. After he left, I had so many conversations with Lindsay about like their relationship and how she was like kind of over it, and they were like weren't seeing eye to eye. Like they both understood what each other needed, but they just like weren't on the same page at all. And I just felt like it just wasn't gonna work out. And she saw that too at one point. And that's why I think we were all really confused when he came back to the house and she was like, yay, we're together again. And I was like, I'm sorry, those like 5-hour long conversations that we had in the middle of the night were for no reason.
But here's the thing, Danny, like
the
reason why I was just like so rooting for them, it was literally the only one crying when he left.
Which I loved. Kyle, you're a crier, and I like that about you.
Season 5 really did me in, man. I maybe that's like the breaking point for people when they pour their heart out on television. But honestly, I was optimistic just because I've seen her with other big personalities like Everett, for example, and it's like they butt heads. And so I was like, hey, to some extent, Amanda and I complement each other. I wouldn't call us like completely like yin yang, but like that was kind of what I was thinking that Lindsay and Steven had going for them.
It seemed like they were able to communicate, even though she says maybe there was miscommunication, but it seemed like they were able to like talk to each other more when they were upset. It didn't always like bubble over.
He could talk her off a ledge, which quite frankly, I've never seen anybody be able to do with Lindsay. So
did he ever make her a sandwich when he got back to the house?
No.
He should have made like, all right, guys, gather around.
No. And the best part is Lindsay's talked about how like he never really cooked for her at all. His Instagram now is just like full of like these really like intense like recipes. And I'm just like,
he's bettering himself.
Yeah.
He turned out to be a chef. I love that.
I haven't seen the sandwich yet, but
you ever
she's dated a chef. True story.
She dated some guy that was on Real Houses of New York too. Like some people.
I forget the vest man.
Yeah.
Where's the best in the middle of summer?
Do you guys talk to the old people? Like, do you ever hear from the twins or anyone from the previous seasons?
We've been able to actually get back to a friendly place with Steven. I've always really enjoyed Steven. I thought he was a great addition because he was the one guy that I didn't know directly, our first summer.
And Steven was that first summer when I was like making my appearances, Steven was always like there for me and like having fun with me and right by my side.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I literally haven't talking, that's not a word. I haven't talked to the twins since the reunion. And it's literally the only falling out I've ever had in my entire life.
They're doing so great though. Like their babies, Lauren's married to actually one of Kyle's good friends, older brothers.
Yeah. I will say this. I don't expect them to listen to this, but
how dare you? I'm sure they probably listen to my show.
I mean, hey, I do think like Amanda said, they're doing great. And I think that they were a little susceptible to the kind of show and letting that the whole like Instagram life kind of go to their head. And I think that they course corrected beautifully. And now they both are starting families and I'm happy for them. And I'd like to one of these days actually, talk once again, because I don't like having things looming over my head like that.
Right. Speaking of this fame thing, have you noticed in the current cast, the sort of show of it all get to people's heads? I mean, you sort of alluded to it earlier, but I'm curious, if we could maybe talk about that a little bit.
I mean, I think that's, that second season was the first point where I kind of noticed something. And then what I think was great kind of going into the third, a little bit of a recast. And I mean, look, I'm the same guy I've been since like high school.
But it would also be ridiculous to say that like the show, none of us have changed at all after being on the show.
Thank God I'm now in a relationship.
Well, but like, I think it's a mix of this fame, but then also, the messages and the fans and the DMs and the people that will all of a sudden like back up your like wild, strange conspiracies and like make you think that you're correct. And then like you go into a summer just having these like wild thoughts because like 5 people agreed with you on Instagram.
Right.
But I think honestly, I don't know about other shows because Real Housewives, like technically they don't need to be friends, right? They just come together for like drunken brunches. Our show's a little different. And so when something does go to your head and it's not based in like real life, it's this fourth wall type element. It does really throw the dynamic off because at the core of Summer House, we were always just a group of existing friends.
I know you guys were close with some of the Vanderpump Rules. Still are close with some of the Vanderpump Rules people, and you guys sort of started as an offshoot of Vanderpump Rules. I wonder if all of that stuff that happened last summer, did it give you a little bit of pause, or I'm trying to think of the right phrasing, a little bit of worry or of what you say or do on the show? Am I making any sense? I don't know if I'm making sense.
I mean, I'll go off the cuff here.
Well, just like it's being like, public figures. You always have to watch what you say, even if it's just like about, Kyle or like about a friend. You're always going to say the wrong thing to someone or about someone. And this year especially, was really opened, I think, my mind to learning more and like educating myself and really understanding like what I'm talking about, and not just like opening my mouth and voicing my opinion without fully understanding, what
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll say this. It's a double-edged sword, because reality television is at its best when you're actually not thinking about what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually present, you're in the moment, and you're being as authentic and real as possible. I fortunately, that's very easy for me.
Right.
But here's the thing. A lot of this fallout, I think, ends up happening on the podcast medium, quite frankly, because you're basically kind of just shooting the shit and talking. And I do feel bad for people that have kind of said the wrong thing, because sometimes I'm like, I don't even think that's what they really like. I don't think that's grounded in any moral beliefs or anything like that.
Not even that. It's the whole cancel culture. And instead of like educating and using them as like a learning example to teach other people, because think about like, I feel like I've learned so much from other people's mistakes, So instead of writing those people off, it's like, using them as an example to teach everyone else like what not to do and why you shouldn't do those things.
Yeah, a lot of people, I remember seeing, obviously COVID threw Sir for a loop, but a lot of people like, I actually would have liked to see these learning lessons play out. Like
it becomes a hard thing, because I think like the viewers kind of have to decide like where their line is of what they feel comfortable kind of supporting. And I think viewers Andy has mentioned, it's like everyone's kind of still trying to figure out what that line is exactly. And I want to switch gears a little bit with Paige. First of all, is she dating Craig? That's a rumor. Is she dating Craig from Summer House? Rumor. Okay. Rumor. Is Sierra dating Austin? Is that wrong or rumor?
Rumor.
What's with all these crossovers? Are we going to get them on the show next season? What's happening?
They've already been on.
I think what's fun, to be honest,
they were at our house,
a couple summers ago. I think what's really cool is like, it's a little bit of that fourth wall, like magic, where sure, would I have crossed paths with Stassi and Bo and Tom and Kate? Would I have gotten to know Craig and Shep and Austin? To be honest, like not that many degrees of separation, but it's a family, and we're all similar ages, and we all have similar like values, and
Yeah, it makes sense.
It makes sense, but like it's kind of, I feel like Bravo's like kind of embracing it a little more than they have in the past, because like, right. Do Real Housewives collide with Real Housewives? Probably not.
I think they might soon. I think
you're right.
It's like, similar world. I think the Housewives all sort of know each other. They do shows like Watch What Happens Live together, like you guys do with other casts. And I find it interesting kind of where it's all headed. Okay. The wedding.
Like, if you think about it, MTV's been doing it for decades, right? I think it's kind of fun. I think people are into it.
The wedding. Are you guys going to get married? You're going to do it on camera next season, right?
We would love to. I think we've talked about this before. Everyone has been on this journey with us, whether they wanted to come on it or not. They're just here with us. So it would be doing everyone like a disservice to just kind of do something super private. At least that's how we feel. I think people would like to see it, whether they love us or whether they,
if they've seen us at our lows, like I'd like them to be able to see us at our highs too.
Right. How long? Okay. So you get, let's say next season, in my dream of dreams, you guys get married, but then do you think you'll be coming back to the summer house to party after marriage, or how long do you think all of this? How long do you imagine it happening?
I love, as much as like as stressful and overwhelming as this whole world is sometimes, I love what we do. And I love, connecting with like the fans and the audience. I think in a perfect world, I would love if everyone got engaged and started having babies and the whole show shifted to this more like Real Housewives of Summer House and we can all do this together and just change. But it's definitely not something that we can keep up with at this pace forever. And no one's going to want pregnant.
Hey, speak for yourself.
No one's going to want a pregnant Amanda in the summer house. So yeah, I'm speaking for both of us because I will be carrying.
Amanda's like, you're not leaving for the summer house without me.
Well, Danny, there's a perfect 9-month gap between Labor Day, Memorial Day on it. Just do the math with me.
So Amanda's going to be there with the newborn, just drinking a lover boy.
That's going to be great. Wow. And then you're going to yell at me for not partying and wanting to turn the music down because our newborn child is sleeping.
But I mean, like, I think before we started filming, like we were going out to the summer and I
going out to the summer?
Going out to the Hamptons during the summer. I'd like to think that this show is actually one that could evolve a little,
but not at the rate our friends are going with their relationships.
Now, speaking of the wedding though, Amanda, we see in the previews for the finale, like you asked Paige to be in the wedding. Is Paige the only cast member that's in the wedding for you guys as of now?
Well, Carl will be. I mean, we're still trying to figure out like our quote unquote wedding party. We're still trying to figure out our guest list because our venue keeps changing. Right now we're trying to, can I say?
We've talked about it.
We're trying to do it in Amanda's backyard, but now
my parents' backyard. I don't have property.
Yeah,
I love a backyard wedding too. I love it's like an intimate kind of.
Yeah, it was like
nice.
This is even more special. But now we're figuring out it costs even more because you basically have to recreate a venue for 200 plus people.
But either way, I think in terms of bridal party, it's going to be on the smaller side of what we can narrow it down to.
So is Hannah in the wedding? She's not in the wedding. Is she pissed about that? I mean, I think we're going to see it play out, but
for some reason, I feel like she was offended and I'm not entirely sure in what world she thinks that feeling is valid.
Interesting.
I'm also confused. I mean, we saw, was it last night's episode where,
the preview.
Yeah, it goes from, Des asking me on the beach if they're, invited back.
That was weird. That was
then
weird.
Hannah saying, no. Des is really upset at what Kyle said to me over the summer. It's like an hour ago, he just asked if he could come to my wedding.
Yeah, she's made it very clear that like she still had beef with
So
Kyle.
bizarre.
She did whatever she did in the bedroom. It's like, why would I ask her to stand up there with Kyle and I if Kyle and her don't get along? It's like, it's mine and Kyle's day. It's not just my day.
I felt like they were fucking with you guys a little bit. And also this is kind of besides the point, but we can't have Des in the summer house next season. Like we just can't. I mean, I'm happy. I want them to be happy. Don't get me wrong, but I can't look at those noises and all that. I can't do it, you guys. I can't do it.
Yeah, I've chosen to keep my sex life, in New York City, and because it is uncomfortable for me and everyone watching.
Yeah, those first couple seasons, Amanda was like, "Oh, Bravo doesn't air this type of stuff." Well, we're on a new show.
I feel like all the years I've watched The Housewives, I'm like, they don't show sex scenes. Meanwhile,
you're the only show where we see a bunch of ass running around all the time. I love it, but it's the only show I think on Bravo. Okay, talk about can you tease anything? I know you can't really give me much about the reunion, but maybe like a one sentence kind of thing or something you could tease for the reunion.
Well, I mean, you just brought up a topic that was discussed. Is forget the wedding party. Is Hannah coming to our wedding? Period. I
think friendships are discussed. Relationships, past and present.
Is it juicy? Do you know how many parts it's going to be? Like, do we know that much?
Let's
just say it was a long day, Danny. It was a long day.
Okay.
I think you'll be very, hopefully, happy with the topics discussed.
I've been loving this season. It's been a good season. I'm liking it a lot.
I knew it had potential. I'm like, we can't go anywhere because of COVID. Oh boy.
Right. Okay. Talk to me about Loverboy. Like what's going on with Loverboy? You guys got a new coffee drink. Look, this shirt I bought, it doesn't even fit me because you guys were sold out of all of the tie-dye shirts. I had to get it.
What a trooper.
It doesn't, I mean, it fits. I made it work, but I loved the tie-dye shirt. And you guys have a new coffee martini drink out now.
Yes,
is that right?
We sold out. Apparently, I was a little worried. Whenever we come out with a new flavor, I can't even tell you how many hundreds of thousands of dollars we invest on a whim. Like, do people want this? Do people want a drink that you have historically only been able to order in a restaurant with an actual espresso machine?
And this was so different than anything that we've done. Most of our drinks are like very fruity.
Or light and refreshing. And, this is 12% alcohol. This is a true cocktail. But people are like, whoa, 2 martinis in a can? Now you're talking, Kyle. I'm like, I guess that's all we needed to do.
Yeah.
I've noticed like throughout the past maybe 6 months or so, I don't know if it's quarantine or what, but the drinks as well as the merch. I mean, amongst sort of the Bravo fandom and even a little bit outside of it, I feel like people are loving it and obsessed with it in a way that I hadn't noticed maybe prior. Like I had talked to some friends who were like, oh my God, I posted this shirt. And people were like, oh my God, you got the Loverboy shirt. I've been trying to get this shirt, or I'm trying to get that thing. And people love it.
All her.
Yeah, no, I feel like I've noticed that too, because originally it was me packing out all of the orders, and we would post merch and it would be up there for like months. We'd have like a good, quantity here, but it would just be up there for a while. And now we're posting even greater quantity and it sells out in a day. So we had to like move it to a warehouse and print more. And we can't keep up with the merch sales. We keep trying to come out with new things and like just print on like whatever is available. And
yeah, because there are some supply chain issues even with merch. We dealt with it like our entire business during COVID.
But I think we found this like nice little spot where it's a little bit of people being fans of us, people being fans of Loverboy, and people being fans of Summer House. And it's kind of like their item that they can get their hands on to kind of support those three worlds.
That must feel really gratifying with the merch to see how much it's grown even outside of the drinks as well too.
It is. And for me, I'm only putting out there stuff that like I want to wear, which my fashion sense is a little more, masculine at times, like the oversized, the more simple casual stuff. And it is very rewarding to see how like excited people are getting about things that I love so much. It's made me
really proud because there are some months we sell more merch than we sell spritz. And one thing I'll point out, Danny, because we're like kind of hitting this critical mass moment where our sparkling hard teas, we have to launch city by city, state by state due to alcohol laws, because even though they're not a beer, that's how the government thinks of them. And it's not like launching a tequila or a wine where you can go nationwide with like Southern Glazers, which is the biggest distributor. So we've had to we launch our teas one state at a time. We came out with the spritz because it's technically a wine product. We can sell that into almost every state. It's shipped direct to your door. So we have like these two different product lines, and then the third, which is a true cocktail that we can also ship direct. It is a little confusing for people because we can't really educate them on, the alcohol laws in a single Instagram post.
Imagine how long it took me to understand it.
Yeah, it's like we can only do the teas through retailers like, grocery stores and liquor stores. But the spritz and the espresso martini, we can sell direct to consumer online like our merch. And so I think what's cool is now people are finally able to buy stuff other than our teas, because we're only in a handful of markets. But our teas, look, 30 to 60 days, we're going to be, probably 50% of the population.
I mean, it's pretty impressive because I've watched so many Bravo celebrities launch products and everything. And you guys, this is a brand that just seems to not stop growing, which is rare in this world. Even outside of the Bravo universe, it's rare to have a brand that continues over years to keep being so successful. I want to run through some other quick questions that I have for you guys, some that people wrote in. But before I get to those, two questions I ask every one of my guests. The first is their favorite Mariah Carey song. And Amanda, this is for you. Kyle, you can answer too, but sexiest man alive, if you were choosing for People magazine. You can't choose Kyle.
I sexiest man because I've made the fool of myself. What was the question? It was like E-News.
No, the question was, who's your celebrity hall pass? And us ladies answered first, and we chose men.
So I naturally chose men too. I said Bradley Cooper.
Hey, good choice, Kyle. We appreciate it.
Now that I get how it works, I'm like Natalie Portman all the way. She's really smart.
That she's not the sexiest man alive, though.
So Bradley Cooper. That's good. Amanda, how about you?
For me, for a while, I had this weird soft spot for Adam Levine. I loved all the tattoos. I'm really feeling this new Harry Styles situation with the tattoos and the dress and just this masculinity, femininity combination. I'm really here for it.
He's gorgeous. Okay, some people wrote in. Lisa Romeo wants to know. This is from the everything. Oh yeah,
Loverboy.
Okay, good.
I didn't even know she had the Loverboy song, but.
I was teeing you guys up. How did you not know that, Kyle? I need to send you a Mariah CD or something.
Someone tweeted, did they copy the logo of Mariah Carey's shirt from 1993? And I'm like, no, but good to know.
You're in good company. From the Everything Iconic Patreon, Lisa Romeo wants to know, will the full 17-page email ever be shared publicly? Like, can't you put that out?
No, it will not go out ever because he wrote most of it is about my feelings and things that I told him like in secret and I vented about. And he just like wrote this email to our friends about like everything I was feeling. So I don't want anyone to ever.
It's like the definition of fighting someone else's battle.
Can we like edit it down and get some of it out? Like maybe a couple pages or something?
Someone like screenshot it because like our producers, I don't know if they thought this would happen or not, but they redacted stuff almost like it was like, a court case. Like the stuff that was like fourth wall.
No, it was,
like,
I think it was just all your curse words that were blurred out.
Yeah. So someone took the effort to like screenshot it frame by frame. So it's somewhere.
I need to go look that up. Okay. Isabella Reyes wants to know, has Kyle ever told Amanda that she looks like Steve Jobs when she's wearing a turtleneck? That's how we met you, Kyle, in the hot tub with Stassi. That was a moment. I'm sure you've never said that to Amanda. Yeah. With Amanda Dolly says, with all the women who've come and gone throughout the seasons, have you ever been upset at any of the other female cast members for flirting with Kyle? Has that ever happened?
No. I know Kyle's not everyone's cup of tea. I'm very fortunate that for the most part, people get along with him. I'm not worried about if you flirt, amazing. That means you're really getting along.
Yeah, never. Yeah.
I've said that Kyle is the hottest man on Bravo. I truly believe that. I mean, there's some hot men, but just physically.
I'm not having, today I only got like 3 hours of sleep. I'm having a rough day.
Matt wants to know, we already talked about that. Megan Van Tom says, instead of being called a little blonde leprechaun, what mythological creature would you have preferred to be called?
Probably a dragon.
A dragon?
Duh.
My mom said that he is a little blonde leprechaun because he's so lucky to have me.
Oh.
Yeah, she was like, he is lucky. She didn't get it.
She didn't get it.
She didn't know it was like a height jab. I'm like, I'm 5'10", damn it.
Amanda, Kyle, Katie wants to know if you and Luke are cool. I
love Luke.
You love Luke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Luke, just like Luke loves everyone, I love Luke that way too. Luke and I have come very far. I think it just took me a little bit longer to fully understand him. And I think I was hearing only one side of the story for so long. So I was, having a lot of built up anger towards him. But we figured it out.
Do you feel like he got the short end of the stick this season? I mean, because for almost over half the season, I think he was painted as someone that maybe he wasn't. I
think in a sense, yes. But I also feel like it's a very mucky situation with him and Hannah. And I don't think that it's not like he's like completely innocent in it.
Yeah, he he wasn't innocent season 4. Let's just be honest.
I don't think some of the things that like Hannah accuses him of are, I don't think he's as guilty as she says. But I think it's very messy.
But that's why I got so like, if you think about it, we all were calling it out season 4, but Hannah would look the other way and give Amanda and Paige a hard time about it. So it's like you couldn't win.
There's been, Luke has said in his confessional, and there's been a few people who have said this on social media, but do you guys think that Des is an opportunist?
I don't know. I don't know him well enough. I don't know much about him at all. I do really think, and I've said this on the show too, like when he came there, I was really happy to see him like treat Hannah so well, like just give her his undivided attention. And I've said even for a while, I thought that they were going to get married possibly before we did. And this was before they got engaged. So I hope that's not what the case is. And maybe it started off that way and then he actually fell in love with her. But at this point, I think it's,
I looking back, I made a point of taking like, not even like the high road. Like I was just like, hey, I'm going to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. He's going to come into our house. It's a lot. Being on camera for the first time, blah, blah, blah. We were playing ladder ball, having a good time. I have some funny pictures of the two of us that I actually kind of am tempted to post. And it's just kind of a little heartbreaking, not heartbreaking, but disheartening when you watch it back and you almost feel like he was a little two-faced. And it was probably due to a lot of bias based on what Hannah kind of.
Well, yeah, I think it's the same way that Kyle has like defended me. I think Hannah, Des was doing for Hannah based off of what.
But then, like, you know, like people are now trying to like overthink it. And like, Kyle, did you know he was on, you know, 2 different reality shows prior to this? You know, one in Asia, like a dating show. Dancing with the Stars, the Ireland version.
Wait, what?
Like,
he was?
Yeah.
People do their research.
He was like engaged to, you know, there's like, okay.
Oh my God, I did not know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reddit.
Can I see that puppy, Amanda? I'm sorry, you're holding a puppy and it's just, I have to look at it. Oh my God.
This is Kevin. Kevin got out of the bin.
Are you guys, I know you have some puppies. Are you keeping any of the puppies?
I don't know yet.
Oh
I have to
God,
see what they're
adorable.
like when they get older.
Oh my God, Kyle holding a puppy is adorable.
It's Kevin.
Okay, you guys, I will let you go. Anything else you want to clear up from the season before I say goodbye?
I just,
one thing I just want to clear up in general, because I keep seeing this on the social media a lot. The social media. People think that Kyle and my relationship started off as a booty call.
Ooh, yeah.
Like I keep seeing it all the time. Like I'm not allowed to have a say in people's relationships, or my opinions don't matter because I was a booty call. Kyle and I were together for 8 months before he even started filming this Bravo TV show that we are now on. So that
far from a booty call. And in fact, Hannah called it a booty call at one point.
So what people are seeing and referring to that first summer is me going over there late at night because I didn't want to be on camera and because they were so busy filming, like I wasn't allowed over.
Why are people saying, is it from the show or did one of your castmates like bring this up again recently?
I think it's a mix of both. Like people who are starting to watch it from the beginning as like Summer House is getting bigger. And maybe it's out there somewhere where someone said I was a booty call.
No, season 4, I believe Hannah in one of her confessionals basically was like, Hannah was someone called you a booty call, and then it kind of took, it caught on.
Do you see Hannah coming back next season? Because it seems like she's at a wit's end with a lot of you guys.
I go back to the premise of the show, Danny, like a group of friends rent a house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We'll see.
You guys, thank you so much for taking the time. I want to encourage everyone to go get their Loverboy shirts. That's what we're wearing this summer. That's what all the
Loverboy summer.
We'll have to get you some more merch.
Oh my gosh. So, you guys are great. Thank you so much.
Support.
I want to encourage everyone, if you're watching this video on YouTube, just go like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. I want to thank you all so much for listening. You can find me on social media at Danny Pellegrino at Twitter and Instagram, and go follow Kyle and Amanda. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully I'll get to meet you guys in person one of these days.
I would love that.
Bye.
Danny, thanks so much.